MARC HINTON Last updated 5 o'clock the 2nd of March 2019. Anthony Au-YEUNG, Getty Images. Shawn Long has shown in the spotlight with the Breakers in the Australian NBL. MARC SHANNON, PHOTOSPORT Breakers center. Shawn Long has become a fan favorite with his high-energy highwire act. Basketball. The Breakers would love nothing better than to propel their star center, Shawn Long, into an NBA opportunity, even if it means he ends up being a one-year wonder down under. Long, who played 18 games for the Philadelphia 76ers in 2017, says he feels ready for a second crack at the NBA and hopes his body of work with the Breakers this season will persuade a GM in the big league to throw him a lifeline. His optimism is well-founded. Breakers coach Kevin Braswell says he is already fielding calls from NBA GMs on his informed big man, and admits that the sad reality of the situation is that Long might end up being just too good to return to the Australian NBL. "I believe there has to be a space for Shawn Long in the NBA," said Braswell ahead of the Breakers' trip to Melbourne for their Sunday rematch against the defending champions. "He knocks down shots consistently, and he shoots a great percentage. Every time you talk to people over there it was all about him getting his mind together and nothing about his talent." Read more. Braswell blasts no-show. Melbourne pound Wovalenzi. Henair. "We need best players. Weeks on Boomer's radar. So many things have hit him this year he probably wasn't used to, but he has been phenomenal for us. I can't speak more highly of him." The Breakers' import centre has been one of the few bright lights in a problematic season for the Kiwi Australian NBL club, which reached its low point on Friday night when a 107-87 thrashing by Melbourne United dropped them to 10-13 and all but extinguished their playoff hopes. Long has been easily the best and most consistent Breaker this season, at times strapping the team on his shoulders and carrying them with his athleticism and sheer force of will. He has had his issues with fouls, but appears to have figured that out over the back half of the campaign when he's largely played the minutes Braswell has needed him to. Long leads the Breakers in scoring, 16.8, rebounds, 8.7, and blocks, 1.4, and is second in field goal percentage, 54, for the season. But since the new year he has been even more impressive as he's found a more happy medium with the referees. In 2019 Long is averaging 23.5 points, 8.9 rebounds and 1.5 blocks for the Breakers while shooting just under 57% from the floor and 43% from beyond the arc. It's not on him that this team appears set to fall patently short of its objective for the season. Ad feedback. Braswell says it's going to be hard to get him back, but the club will be doing everything it can to retain a player they believe they can build a successful team around. "You don't keep a talent like that here for long, but hey, you never know," said Braswell. "At the start of the season when I spoke to his agent it was, you're never going to get him down there. 2 months later he was here. We would welcome him back with open arms, and he knows that. I'm sure the financial part we'd be able to come to some terms with him, but he's a guy you don't see often. If we could get him back it would make us so much better going into next season." Long might be the best import in Breakers history. He is certainly the standout big man they've had. "He is serious talent," says Breakers legend and Melbourne assistant coach Paul Henair. "I wouldn't say too good for this league, but he's got high enough talent he could be playing in the top league in the world. He's been a great pickup and just his consistency over the last few weeks has been really impressive. Him and Ty Wesley have formed a really good bond and got a good connection going. In my experience it still comes down to right place, right time, right opportunity. But I do feel he's good to be playing in that league." Long, for his part, is staying focused on finishing the campaign strongly with the Breakers. He acknowledges the NBA is a place he is driven to get back to, but it's not something he lets consume him unnecessarily. "Everybody is watching at all times," he said. "My agent always tells me that. It's just a matter of the timing and when the time comes being ready. That's all I'm focused on right now. I'll be ready at any moment to take on that challenge. But for now I'm just taking these games one at a time, and when the season is over I'll sit down with my agent and we'll put a plan together and see what happens." The early finish to the Australian NBL works in Long's favour. Even more so if the Breakers miss the playoffs, as now looks likely. He could get back, perhaps get into the G League and stand by for a late-season injury opportunity. He looks ready, having worked hard on his shot in his time in New Zealand to the point he is now knocking down the three-pointer at a more than respectable clip. He'll need it, likely fitting in as a 4 in the NBA. "I'm shooting the ball really well right now and I'm happy for that because I'm putting the work in on it and it's showing," he said. Long understands the difficulties of cracking the NBA. He got a chance with the Sixers, and before he knew it was being shipped out of town, and was out of a job. The Breakers, he hopes, will be his stepping stone back. But if not, there's a club in Auckland that will be more than happy to keep a job open for him. The Breakers must finish their season 5-0 from here to have even a slight chance of squeezing into the playoffs. That starts with Sunday's rematch against United in Melbourne, 7:20 p.m. tip NZT. Stuff.